Okay, so I'm now recording. Are you able to see my screen? Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes, madam.
Okay. So we are starting. We said when we are starting tally, we start by opening a folder. So go to the folder on your desktop. So go on your desktop, right click, say new, okay? And then new folder. Because I said, we are assuming that you are just in the exam and already you have a folder on your desktop. So this time around, I'm going to call my folder Slyvia 14451. Let us move together because I know now you are all familiar with what I'm doing. So I've opened the folder on the desktop in my registration number. Now, I said immediately after that, drag the folder and take it to what? To tally. Drag the folder and take it to tally. That is how we save. Like I said, there are very many ways of saving, but because we are already time bad, I don't want to use longer processes that will confuse you. So immediately when you have a folder on your desktop, drag it to tally. So we are all having the same version. I'm right now opening a new folder so that I start afresh. It will not take a lot of time to repeat this, since we all have already the knowledge. So you can now see, that we have opened and I'm starting afresh. So I hope you're all doing the same. And we said that once you reach under license, just scroll and go up to work in mode, work in educational mode. Once you are under work in educational mode, I said select single user. So this time around, I hope we are all having the same version. And once I select single user, it is telling me select login or create. So I am creating because I'm starting the question afresh. So I'll say create company and then I say enter. So once I say create company and I say enter, you see that it is now bringing me to this window. And I said, how do you confirm that I really saved my work? When you look at this directory here, at the end, it will be having your name and registration number. I hope you're seeing where I'm circling. So the moment you look at that directory, at the end, you will be able to see your name and reg number. For those of you who are just joining in, we're already starting afresh. If you've already done the number, you can just follow through. For those who have not yet, let's move together. So they said the name of the company is Pakasa. No, they said create a name in a company in your name. So the name is going to be still my name. This time around, I prefer to use only one, Slyvia. I hope you've put your name. So when I press enter, the name is the same as the mailing name. The address, they told us to use box 987, enter, Masaka. So when I go to another one, enter. Now this is what I said, statutory compliance. Now that we are all having the same version, I said, when you reach statutory compliance, it is always none. So just go to none. We are not using any statutory compliance. So you say none and then you say enter. Telephone number, we don't have according to the question. Mobile number, we don't have. Email, we don't have. Then they say enable auto backup. Like I said, you can enable it in case you want a backup or you can leave it. So even if I put a yes by just typing Y, it has no harm. I continue. Which currency symbol are we using? We said we are using Ugandan what? Shillings. And then which account type of company do we want to maintain? Is it an account with inventory or accounts only? It is always accounts with inventory. That's why it is automatically under accounts in what? in inventory. So just enter to go to the next one. Now they're asking you, when does your financial year begin? So they told us in the question that the financial year begins on 1st of January 2019. So I'll type there 1st of January 2019. And the books also begin on the same date, 1st of January 2019. We continue. And I talked about a vault password. And I said that a vault password is a high-level password. We don't use it at this level. I said it is an advanced level of security to keep confidentiality of the information by encrypting the data. That's not what we want. So we don't put anything under Tally Vault password. We continue, and then it asks you, do you want to use any security control? I said we say yes. If you say yes, it will then allow you to use the ordinary security. So when I say yes, by just typing Y and I enter, it will ask me now to put the name of the administrator, which is Mark, M-A-K, and the password was EXT. Then they tell us to repeat, it is still EXT. We enter. They warn you because they're like, if you forget the password, you will never access your data. So for us, we are good to go. We enter. Now they're asking us, use Tally Audit Futures. Remember I told you that audit futures, it is just an inbuilt feature which enables the auditor to perform an audit. So for us, we don't need it. We just continue. Then they said, disallow opening in education mode. No, because we are using educational what? Mode. Continue. The currency symbol is UGX. The full name is Uganda shillings. Number of decimal places, 0. Is symbol fixed to amounts? No. Show amounts in millions. Now, the person who was telling me that, madam, on WhatsApp, there is a person who told me my figures were showing like it wasn't 1,000 separators. It is because you did not put a yes here. So you put a yes, so that the, show amounts in millions. Let's leave it at no, because this means that when you leave it at no, you're going to have full figures. But if you put a yes, it's going to cut some of the figures. Then put a space between amount, yes, it is automatic. Then decimal places for printing, 0. So once I finish all this, I enter and then accept. I hope we are all okay up to that level. Now, once I say okay, it is now having a company called Sylvia. It is having a company that side in your name. Now, the name of the user is what we have typed in as the administrator, Mark. And our password is EXT. Enter. So members, I've already created a company in just 1 minute. So this is something we took a lot of time doing, but now with experience, I hope you're all there. Now, the person who did a mistake, maybe when you're starting, you can always go back and see what you did by clicking on company info. When I click on company info, it can help me to look at the company that I have, and I can be able to alter, okay? Where we have alter, I can be able to alter, maybe Sylvia, it takes me back to what I have done, and I can always change. So never worry about that. We just go to company info or F3 and then go to alter. Okay. So that is where we are. So I hope we are all under gateway of Tally. Please remember what I told you, that sometimes you may have to configure certain things. So when I go under configure, and then I go to account stroke inventory, you can look for what I told you to configure last time. But I think the one I've given you is already configured. Allow standard rates for stock items, yes. So you don't need to configure, but in the exam, it's always good you look for this. So We can now start afresh. Now, after creating a company, the next thing we did was to receive our inventory. And I recall that I told you when you're receiving inventory, we use what? Inventory what? Info. So under inventory info, it will bring for you stock groups, stock items. But I said the first thing is always to capture units of what? Measure, and then you say create. So I am going through quickly so that we are all on board. So our first type, it is always simple, not compound. So our first symbol was CRT, and we said the name was what? Create. Enter and accept. And the second symbol was LTR, which stands for liter. Enter and accept. Our third symbol is PCT, which stands for packet. Enter and accept. And before you know, I've already finished that. Okay. So we escape. We said to leave this window, we do what? We escape. Members, what I'm doing, we already did it. So in case I leave you, there is already a video which you can go through, the first video. In the interest of time, we shall not move to any point. So after capturing that, we said the next thing is we now have to go and receive our stock items. So if you've forgotten, see, I said you go under inventory info. This time around, you don't select units of measure, but you select stock what? Items. And then when you reach under stock items, we look for single, and then we create under single. So our first stock item, the name is Fanta. The name is Fanta. And it doesn't have an alternative name. And it is a primary one. Okay. So they are telling you what are the units. Fanta is going to be measured in form of crate. So that's why I am saying the first one is crate. So you click on crate. And then they say, do you want to set standard rates? Remember what I told you, that to set standard rates, you have to put a yes, such that you are able to capture the standard cost and the standard price of these stock items. So when I put a yes and I enter, it takes me directly to that dialog box where I can capture the cost and the selling price. So I enter. Now the standard cost of Fanta is 18,000 per crate. Enter until when you reach the other side. The selling price is 24,500 per crate. Enter, 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 and do what? And accept. Then the second one is black ink. So I'll say black ink. It is still a primary one, and this time around, black ink is measured in liters, and we want to set standard rates. So the cost of 1 liter is 7,000. Enter, enter. And then the selling price is 9,500. Yes, Adela. Your hand is up. Okay, so after entering the standard selling price, I'll then enter. Until I do what? I accept. Then lastly, we have pens. And the unit selling price of a pen is a packet. And we want to set the standard prices and cost. So the standard cost is 4,300 per packet. And the standard selling price is 5,200 per packet. Enter, 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 and accept. Finished. So we have already finished capturing stock items. Now, what we did yesterday we said that after capturing inventory, the next thing is to go and create ledgers. So members, it is as easy as that. We've created a company, we've received our inventory. Now we can go and create ledgers. Don't forget what I told you, that if you make a mistake, you just go under outer. When I go under outer, it will show me the list of stock items I have. And in case I want to change anything, I just click on it and I start changing. Me, I have nothing to change, so I will escape until when I go back to gateway of what? Of tally. So we have finished capturing inventory. Now let's start capturing the ledgers. Remember yesterday I said, when we are capturing ledgers, we use accounting info. And I already said that when we are capturing ledgers, it is always important to know the classification that you studied in your accounting. That if I'm capturing a motor vehicle, then it falls under fixed asset. I was guiding through, so let's just go ahead. So to create a ledger, you go under accounting info, enter. I said when it brings accounting info, we go under ledgers, enter, and then we are creating single ledgers, not multiple ledgers. So under single, I'll say create. So the first account that we opened yesterday was Century. For those of you who have already done this, that is good for you. Century bottling company. And we said it doesn't have an alternative. And we said these are suppliers, but in tally suppliers are sundry creditors. So enter. We also want to maintain a bill by bill. Then the address is box 99 Ginger. Enter, and accept. The second supplier was Mook Painters. Mook Painters is still a sundry creditor, so I will not change that, but the address is changing, box 95, Kampala. Enter, and accept. Please, members, if you want to unmute, always first put up your hand. So the last supplier is Pick Fair. Pick Fair, who is a sundry creditor, and the address is box 11, Asaka. So the suppliers are done. Enter and accept. The second thing that we captured was customer information, and the first customer was Spa Uganda Limited, and we said that customers are sundry debtors. Okay, so the address is box 55, Kampala. Members, once you learn this, that is the easiest number you can do in a few minutes. And accept. Then the second one is National University. Enter. You see the sundry data, but the box changes. It is box 87, Kabale. Enter, and accept. The last one is Makerere Business School. Makerere Business School. See the sundry data, and the address is box 33, Kampala. Enter, and accept. We have finished capturing customer information. Now, the next one, we went through the question like I guided yesterday, that read the question, but this time around, as you're reading, you are applying your concept of accounting to be able to know that if I read a transaction what are the two accounts affected? You're applying the principle of double entry. So after identifying those accounts, then you come and first open them up. So we said that let's begin with additional information. Roman number 1. They said assume the following. Roman number 1, VAT rate is 18% on both sales and purchases. So in that statement alone, we created 3 ledgers: a VAT account, a sales account, and a purchases account. So I'm going to create a VAT account. And we said that VAT in tally is under duties and what? And taxes. And the rate is 18. We said don't put percentage. It's already, percentage is already there. So when I say enter, they told us to pick the method of calculation. And I said the method is always tax based on item rate, the last one, enter. So when I say enter, it takes me to accept, and then I go ahead and accept. So the next one was sales. And we said that sales is under still a sales account. So you come and look for a sales account here. I enter the values of inventory affected. Then I say yes. The last one was purchases on that statement, purchases. And we said purchases is also under purchases account. Enter, enter, and accept. Finished. So we went ahead and looked at the required. As we were reading through the required, again, we created ledgers. Part A, they told us to process the following items. Opening capital of 322.5 million to be deposited in Barclays Bank account. We agreed that the 2 accounts affected in this statement is capital and Barclays Bank. So we open up those 2. So the first one is capital. Capital, and we said capital is still under capital account. Enter, 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 and accept. The second one we said is a Barclays Bank. So Barclays Bank, we said a Barclays Bank will be under bank accounts. And definitely it will tell you that this bank account is a current asset from your accounting perspective. So I will just enter, 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 and then I do what? I accept. That is 1. Roman number 2, they told us to transfer 151 million from Barclays Bank to Bank of Baroda. The 2 accounts affected in that Roman number is Barclays Bank and Bank of Baroda. But because you've already opened Barclays Bank, you don't open it again. You just go and open up the Baroda account this time around. So I'll say Baroda Bank. Still, it is under bank account. So I just enter, 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 and I accept. Roman number 3, electricity payment of 52,000 from Barclays Bank account. The 2 accounts affected is electricity and Barclays Bank. But we already opened up a Barclays Bank account. So we just go and open up electricity. Electricity. And electricity is an indirect expense. Indirect expense. So I accept. Number 4, a motor van purchase of 4.3 using the current account. Remember, they told us that the current account is Barclays Bank. So the 2 ledgers still is the motor van and Barclays Bank. But we already opened up a Barclays Bank account. So we just go and open up a motor van account. And the motor van from our accounting is a fixed asset. Okay. Part B was talking about purchases. And when we read through, they were telling us to just go and purchase from Central Bottling Company 250 crates of Fanta, which we already did. We already have a Central Bottling Company. We already have the stock captured. Roman number 2 still, they told us that from Mook Painters, 300 liters of black ink. The same thing, we already have a Mook Painters account, and we've already captured our black ink under inventory. Part C is that process the payment for Central Bottling Company using current account. The same thing, We already captured a Santry Bottling Company account, and we already have our Barclays Bank account as a current what? Account. Part D is obtained a 5-year loan, a 5-year 12% Barclays Bank loan to finance expansion operations. Now, in this scenario, we identified the two accounts affected. One is a 5-year 12% Barclays Bank loan, which is a liability. And the second one is the Barclays Bank itself. So Barclays Bank account was already there. We only opened up a 5-year 12% Barclays loan. And we say this one is always under loans in brackets liability. So enter, and do what? And accept. So part E was talking about sales. Members, the things you should never forget is to open up a sales and a purchase account. Please always remember that. So Roman number 1, they told us that Spy Uganda Limited, 120 crates of Fanta. So we already have Spy Uganda Limited account, and we already received our inventory of Fanta. Makerere Business School for 90 liters of black ink, same thing. We already have Makerere Business School account and the black ink inventory. Part F, received a check from Makerere Business School and deposited it into the current account. So Makerere Business School is one account which we already have. The other account is Barclays, and we already have it. A loan repayment, same thing. We already have a loan account and a Barclays Bank account. Then part H, they told us that according to the bank statement from Barclays Bank, the following does not appear. Remember, I told you that Tally can also help us to reconcile. So when they were trying to look at the bank statement, interest on bank deposit, members, this one I called it an indirect income. Why is it indirect? You have a bank account with Barclays Bank. So all banks, so long as they are current account banks, current accounts, they always give interest to the account holders. For example, recently on 31st of October, we received interest, those of you who have bank accounts. So in most cases, if you don't receive messages on your phone, you will not know if the bank has given you that interest. You can only know if you get a bank what? A bank statement. So that's why it is indirect. Same applies to bank charges. When a bank is debiting your account by removing bank charges, you cannot know. You can only know that when you get a bank statement. So interest on bank, this is a interest on bank deposit. So it is interest account, which is an indirect what? Income. Enter, and accept. Then lastly, we said bank charges. Bank charges, which is an indirect expense. Enter, and accept. So members, we have finished. In 30 minutes, we've been able to create a company, to receive inventory, and create ledgers. Now I want to ask, so if you're here, escape. If you want to display the ledgers you have done, you can just go under display and see. Remember what I told you. This cash account, then and profit and loss account are the only ledgers that Tally creates for you automatically. We don't create them. The rest of the accounts, we do create them. And also I said that if you want to alter, you can also as well alter, make changes to what you have done. In case maybe you feel you wanted to write a better name, you can do it. But since there is nothing to edit, I'm going to escape until when I go back to gateway of Tally. So escape until when you're back to gateway of what? Of Tally. Now I want to ask you, are we all on the same page? So that I can continue with transactions?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Madam, not yet.
Not yet.
Give us around 5 minutes.
Okay, I'm giving you 5 minutes so that you're all on the same pace. Then we start transacting.
Madam, can you help us with repeating about creating the ledger, something little?
Madam, go on.
Which one exactly?
Like
Rachel, which one exactly?
Like how did you open the ledger? Like where did you tap?
Under gateway of tally, go to accounts info. Under gateway of tally, go to accounts info. Enter. Once you are in accounts info, when you enter, it will bring you groups or ledgers. Click on ledgers, enter. Then under single ledger, create.
Thank you, madam.
So I'm giving you 5 minutes.
Madam.
Yes.
I wanted to ask about the VAT, whereby it was saying 18% of the sales and purchases. When we open up the sales ledger, do we say it's affected by, do we put yes on that part whereby it's affected by the inventory?
The person who was asking, kindly repeat your question. I was sorting out something.
I was asking on that part of VAT,
Yes.
whereby it was saying it was 8% of sales and purchases.
Yes. You see, when we were creating a sales account, you notice that, let me just go there, as others are finishing. You notice that it asked inventory values affected, and we said yes. So automatically it will compute for us the VAT.
Okay, all right.
You're going to see it when we are capturing sales. So members, that I gave 5 minutes. Are you through? The price. Members, can we continue?
No.
The person who is asking me what to base on to determine if it's a capital account or a sundry account, I said yesterday that we just use the accounting knowledge that we have been accumulating over time. For you, if you were doing manual accounting, how were you categorizing accounts? We know from our fundamental accounting principles, we studied what a nominal ledger is, a real ledger is. So that is the knowledge you borrow even here. Oppo, what is it? Oppo, your hand is up.
Excuse me, madam. Excuse me, madam.
Go ahead.
When I go to the VAT ledger,
Yes.
and I go and I specify as duties and taxes,
Yes.
then the next step of type of duty tax, it displays others. Is it okay?
No, how does it display others?
Like when I keep entering after the duties and taxes, then if I enter, it brings excise and others, the types of duty stroke tax.
No, the moment you put duties and taxes, you look at my screen, it will already put for you duties and taxes in brackets current liability. So for you, where do you get others? We are using the same thing like this time around.
Okay. It's okay.
Have you seen it
now?
Okay.
Yes, I've seen it. It's okay.
I was just giving time for some people to catch up with us, but I think now we can continue. The good thing, I'll share the recording. So once you get lost, you relax. You can always go back and refer to the recording. Okay, so we are now going to answer the question. And I said, answering the question in Tally, it means transacting. Answering the question means transacting. The person who has unmuted, please. You are the ones who are going to listen to this recording, and then it will have that background noise. Only unmute after putting up your hand. So we are going to transact. And when we are transacting, we are simply going to be answering this question. And when we are answering this question, it is the same as the accounting you've been doing. But only that manually you would go and draw the ledgers, you debit one account and credit the other account. But here we're going to be doing it in what? In Tally. So for us to be able to transact, we shall go under transactions. When you go under transactions, there's what we call accounting vouchers and inventory vouchers. So what we are interested in is accounting vouchers. So select accounting vouchers and then enter. Now let us read the first transaction, part A, Roman number 1. They said opening capital of 322.5 million to be deposited in Barclays Bank account. Yesterday I was explaining to you that for you to be able to answer, for example, Roman number 1, you need to first know the nature of the transaction. Is this a receipt? Is it a payment? Is it a journal? Is it a purchase, a contract, or a sale? Once you know that, then you need to go ahead and identify which account you're going to debit and which account you're going to do what? To credit. So when you look at Roman number 1, we have opening capital of that figure to be deposited in Barclays Bank account. So first of all, this is a receipt. The nature of this transaction is a what? A receipt. So we shall go under our button area here and we click receipt or F6. So you click on receipt. Once you click on receipt, now you need to ask yourself, which account am I crediting? Which account am I debiting? I think in your accounting fact, you remember very well the meaning of debit and credit, depending on the nature of the transaction. This time around, we are seeing that our capital is increasing by 322.5 million, meaning that when capital is increasing, according to our double entry, when capital is increasing, we credit. So the account that we're going to credit here is a capital account. And then we know that the Barclays Bank account this time around, it is also increasing. It is not reducing, it is also increasing. So it is also increasing by the same figure. And we know that a bank is an asset. Whenever an asset is increasing, we debit it. So the two accounts here is capital and bank, debit bank, credit capital. So we shall credit capital. Now, already when I select receipt, it shows me what do you want to credit. Then this time around, you're able to see this list of ledgers. So it is capital. I enter. How much are we increasing? 322,500,000. Enter. So someone who was talking about the millions, the zeros here. Are you already seeing them here? So we can change this. If you already have the same thing here, you can change it or we can just continue with it. But let me try to change it here by going to company info. That is F3. So let me first escape, just a minute. Company info, then let me first alter something and I see. Just a minute. I want to see if our figures are changing now. Those whose hands are up, I'm seeing them. I said just a minute. Okay.
Madam, you put everything to yes down there under base currency information. Put everything to yes. It's what I did.
Base currency?
You put everything. Yes, just put everything to
yeah,
yes.
I am
there
trying
is no
to.
put yes.
I'm trying to alter them. Okay.
Even yes here, madam. Or no, there was a yes here also on the no. Is symbols affixed to amounts? Yes.
You want us to put a symbol? That one you activate it if you want to put a symbol.
Okay, but mine, it had refused until I did
okay,
that.
Let's make them yes. It has no effect. Let me first go back and see. Yeah, it has worked. So for those of you who also want to change yours, let me direct you. Don't worry. Rains, go back to gateway of tally, escape from wherever you are, and then go back to gateway of tally. Have you escaped back to gateway of tally? Because remember, the figures are like that. Yeah, the figures are like that because of what we did in the beginning. So you need to always know where the problem is coming from, and you can always work backward. So once you are in gateway of tally, come here under the button and select company info, F3. This is called the button area. We know all this now. F3 company info. So don't select anything, but just go to alter. Company info, alter. Are we there? Company info, alter. Are we there? So once you're under alter, enter. Then select that company that you want to alter by just, because there is only one company, just enter. So it takes us back to where we were in the beginning under company creation. I want you to go straight away to base currency information by just entering until when you reach this level. Deborah, your hand is up and I'm explaining the same thing. Are you asking a different question? Deborah and James?
Madam.
Yes?
Me, I'm asking a different question, madam.
Madam, about the show amount.
Hold on. Yes. I'm explaining the same thing. Deborah, just relax. I'm going to come back there. Yes, Abraham.
Madam, I'm asking about where we stopped, like at accounts voucher.
Madam,
I'm going to go back there. Abraham,
okay,
I'm going to go back there. We are just correcting something small in what we did in the beginning. So under here, I said, go up to where there is base currency information by just entering. So enter until when you reach base currency info, base, enter, 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 because all this we did already. Enter. Now here, we have Ugandan shillings. You have the formal name, decimal places 0, is symbol fixed amount, put a yes, continue, show amount in millions, put a yes, put a space between amount, put a yes, then decimals, put a 0. That is all. Have you done that? Under base currency info. So Deborah, that's what you were asking. Just make a yes. After that, enter and accept. It means you've already made a change to your company. Then after that, escape until when you go back to gateway of tally. So escape until when you go back to gateway of what? Of tally. So I hope we have already edited that. Now we can go back to what I was doing initially. So before that, we were looking at transacting. So we said we go under accounting vouchers. Accounting vouchers, enter. And then we said the first item is a receipt. So make sure you have selected a what? A receipt. And we said what are we crediting? We are crediting capital. By how much? By 3 to 500,000. And we are debiting. We are debiting Barclays Bank. So come and select Barclays what? bank. So in the moment you select debit, the amount will automatically come because it is a double entry. So are we there? For those of you who are not having debit credit, what are you having? This time around, I don't want any excuse. If you're not having this software, then you are having trouble because it's what you're going to use in the exam. You should be having the same screen as mine. No, it will not affect Deborah. It will not. Let's continue because I know we are having the same software right now. Unless the only thing I want you to tell me that mine is not showing debit credit. If it's not showing debit credit, then it is showing to or buy. It is showing to or buy. If that's not the case, then you're already using a different software from ours. For you who are saying commas are not clear, it's what we have just done, what we did by changing the base currency information. We were trying to put the commas. Kathy, what is your problem?
Madam.
Yes.
We continue.
Some people are not following, and maybe some of you decided not to install a new version.
No, madam, we downloaded the same software you told us to.
So what is the
it's still
problem?
not showing debit. It's still not showing debit or credit.
It is,
but we can live with that. Like we can work.
No,
with that, madam.
but
It's okay.
others have
Like,
the same thing. I want to know what the real problem is.
the problem is like the one for yesterday. It still doesn't show debit or credit unless you first put in a figure like we did yesterday, and then it will show debit or credit after.
Okay.
With the same software which didn't give us, but we can work with it.
It's okay. Good, you can work with it. So we can continue then. Yes.
In the part of account, what should we put there?
You put the account that you're either going to debit or credit.
So in this case, which part have you put in yours?
Are you seeing my screen?
Yes.
Can you see what I have put?
No, I'm seeing where there is account up.
Where there is account?
Yes, after receipt, there is account.
No account.
So you select capital. The account is capital, the other one is bank. So you're crediting capital and debiting bank.
Excuse me, madam.
Yes.
Could the guy who helped us yesterday?
Just let me escape. Those of you who are not seeing debit credit, can you first configure? For you who have done this already, just relax, we are going to continue. So members, where you are, members, where you are, those of you who are not seeing debit credit, I want you to do this and we'll see if it helps you out. So where we are on this screen, just go under configure F12, where you are. Just go under configure F12. Then look for use credit debit instead of to or buy. If it has a no, then you make it a yes. If it has a no, make it a yes. Are you doing that, people who are having that challenge? Because if that's the challenge, then it will be able to work out.
Madam, I think I've seen where the problem is.
Yes.
It's not for changing it from debit to credit. There is that first part which says record it as a single entry. I think for us, our software had yes. When I've changed it to no, it has given me credit and debit. When you go to voucher entry and you go to use single entry mode for payment receipt stroke contra, when you change it to no, it goes to credit and debit. It works.
Please continue, madam.
Madam, we are going to follow the recordings. We just continue, we shall follow.
Madam, we're not hearing you.
Madam, continue.
I said, for those of you who have already captured this, enter until when you reach narration. So we are now putting a narration, just like the way you used to open narrations in journals. So this is being opening capital deposited on bank current account. Are we there? Once you finish capturing credit capital, debit bank, enter. Just enter all the information you find, just enter until when you reach narration, and then you put being opening capital deposit on bank account. Enter and accept. So we have finished that transaction. So we go to the next one. Roman number 2, they told us that transfer 151 million from Barclays Bank to Bank of Baroda. I said that the first thing is you need to know the nature of the transaction. This time around, if we are transferring from Barclays to Bank of Baroda, this is a contra entry in accounting. Transferring from one bank to another bank is a contra what? Entry. So you go and click contra. Now the question is, which account are we debiting? Which one are we crediting? Can someone unmute and tell us? Because here this is double entry. It is a contra. Yes. It is a contra. Yes. Yes, James, you want to tell us what to debit and credit? Kathy, your hand is still up.
We debit Baroda Bank.
Yes.
And credit Barclays Bank.
Correct. So here you just apply your FAP knowledge. Transfer 151 from Barclays Bank, meaning that Barclays Bank is reducing, so it will be credited. And then we are transferring it to Baroda. Baroda is increasing, so we shall debit it. Yeah, that's why someone says debit Baroda Bank, credit Barclays. So credit Barclays. So you go and put a credit on Barclays. And how much are we crediting? 151 million. I said when this information comes, just enter. Then we are debiting Baroda. The moment I select the Baroda, the debit figure will automatically come because this is a double entry. Did you create it? Josephine, Barclays is not coming. Have you created it? And also, have you selected that it is a contra? The first thing is to select if it is a contra. So if you're still not seeing debit and credit, repeat the same thing that we did. So credit Barclays, debit Baroda. Then enter until when you reach narration. And then make a narration. Being cash transferred from Barclays. This narration, members, has no format. Just like you can recall when you were studying journals, you could narrate the way you've understood the transaction. Being cash transferred from Barclays Bank to Baroda Bank. Enter and accept. So we go to the next transaction. Roman number 3. Electricity payment of 52,000 from Barclays Bank account. What is the nature of this transaction? It is a payment. So you select payment. The next question is, if it is a payment, which account are we debiting and which one are we crediting? So when we pay electricity, it is an expense. It means that the expense increases. So whenever expenses are increasing, we debit them, meaning that we shall debit the electricity account and then credit our bank account because it is reducing. So debit electricity. By how much? By 52,000. By 52,000. And then credit, we are paying from Barclays Bank. Credit Barclays Bank by the same figure. Enter, enter, until when you reach the narration part. And then you say being payment made for electricity. Finished. enter and accept. Okay, we can continue. Some people are already doing a good work. They know what to debit and what to credit.
But you're so speedy, madam.
But how am I speedy? You want me to teach you what account to debit and credit? You follow. Nonetheless, I'm going to share the video after, because we cannot move at the same pace. So Roman number 4 is motor van purchase of 4.3 using current account. So when you're buying a motor van, please write this. When you're buying a fixed asset on a cash basis, when you're buying a fixed asset on a cash basis, then that one is a payment. When you're buying a fixed asset on a cash basis, then that's a what? A payment. But when you're buying a fixed asset on credit, when you're buying a fixed asset on credit, it is a journal. You never know what you can find in the next question. They can tell you maybe bought a motor van or maybe bought a motor van on credit from Spear Motors. So that one will be a journal in that case. But here they told us a motor van purchase of 4.3 using a current account. So when we purchase a fixed asset by cash or by check, that's a payment. But when we purchase on credit, that is a what? A journal. So when I finish part A, I will give you 5 minutes so that we catch up before I continue to the next one. So this time around, we've said it is a payment. Now, if it is a payment, the next thing is, which account do I debit? Which account do I credit? When you buy an asset, it means that your assets increase. So this time around, the asset we are buying is a motor van. So we shall debit the motor van, and then the account that is reducing is our Barclays bank account, because that is the current account. So can you go ahead and pass that entry by debiting motor van with how much? 4.3. And then crediting Barclays. You have to put a narration being purchase of motor van. Finished. So I am giving you 5 minutes for those of you who have not been following, so that you can do that. Do from Roman number 1 up to Roman number 4 before we go to part B. Are we now all at the same page? Have you finished capturing those transactions? Please don't worry. Just like the way we did in the beginning, we took one lecture just to learn how to create a company. Today, it took us only a few minutes to do that. So I believe by the time you will try out revision question 2, you will be able to know what to do on everything. So this thing just takes practice, and the good thing, you can even edit whenever you do a mistake. Okay. So we have finished. Are we all on the same page? Have you finished capturing Roman number 1 up to 4 so that I can go to part B?
Yes.
They want us to finish this. Okay. So escape, or even if you don't escape, if you are still here, you are still under accounting vouchers, okay? If you're still seeing this screen. If you're not seeing it, it means you've escaped. Go back and to accounting vouchers. So part B, they're telling us that we are going to capture purchases. So the nature of the transaction, therefore, is a what? A purchase. So you click on purchase. When you click on purchase, you see that now the ledger has completely changed. It is not the other one. And I also remind you, never forget to capture, to create a purchase and a sales account, never. Because sometimes you will not exceed the particular level if you don't capture purchases. We are going to see how. So we are going to purchase from Century Bottling Company 250 crates of soda. So it is a purchase, we enter. When they say purchase account name, they are simply asking you, where are you purchasing from? So purchases relates to our suppliers. So we are purchasing from Century Bottling Company. Under the list of ledgers here, go and select Century Bottling Company. Enter. Then it will show you the details that you already captured. That is this the supplier details? Of course, just enter because that is what we had. Now it takes you back here. So when you're purchasing from Century Bottling Company, and this is going to be recorded under which purchase ledger? Purchases. So if for you, you did not create purchases, you will not see anything here. Are we together? We are purchasing from Century Bottling Company. When I enter and I reach purchases ledger, it is asking me, in which ledger are you recording it? If you've not created a purchases ledger account, you cannot go beyond this level because you will have nothing this side. So for us, we created it, so just enter. Then we are able to go to another what? Level. Are we together, members? Never forget to create a purchases or a sales account, or else once you are here, you will not be able to go to the next level. So which item are we buying? They're telling you name of the item. So we are buying Fanta. So just type F and Fanta will come. Because Fanta begins with F, type F and Fanta will come, then enter. So they're asking you, which quantity are you purchasing? 200 and what? And 50. The next thing is at what rate? But remember, when we were capturing our inventory, we have already put the standard cost and the standard selling price. So when you're purchasing, they are going to charge you a cost, isn't it? So when we enter, it will automatically put for you the cost price of Fanta, which was 18,000 per what? Per crate. Are you seeing that, members? Because we captured it already, Tally will automatically pick it for you. Purchase relates to cost because we are buying. But also recall that under Roman number 1, where we have assumed the following. Roman number 1, they told us that VAT is on both purchases and what? And sales. So now that we have purchased, we also need to capture VAT. And they said the VAT here is what? It is exclusive, meaning that the figure we have here, the 4.5, is exclusive of VAT. So it means it doesn't have a VAT component in it. We therefore have to capture VAT separately. So enter again until when you reach the last column of amount, enter and type V to bring VAT. First enter again. Just a minute, let me go back here. Just a minute, I'm going back. So we're buying Fanta. 50. So when you enter twice so that you are able to bring the VAT ledger. Enter and it will bring VAT of 18%. Then it has to compute it automatically. If it doesn't compute it, then there is something we did not activate. It has to compute it automatically. So, have you all entered VAT? If it doesn't compute it, then I'll tell you what to do.
Yes.
So members who were here, I had just gone off shortly. For those of you where VAT does not come, you have to enter twice. But now this is what I wanted to bring to your attention. You see this 18, it has to be 18% of the 4.5. So if it doesn't bring it, it means that when we were creating inventory, we did not put the percentage. So first escape and I show you what to do. Escape from this window. Don't save this, first escape. We are going to repeat it. Escape until when you go back to gateway of tally, you go under inventory info, under stock items, then say alter. Okay, members, I've said escape from wherever you are, go under inventory info, stock items, then say alter. You're going to change something. So let's begin with black ink, enter. So you see, last time when we were creating this inventory, some of you did not have this tax information. That's why I had said, let's first leave it. But now that we are all using the same software, we are going to go and put the VAT rate of 18. So enter until when you reach the rate and then put there 18. I am waiting for you to reach this level. Never always put this 18. Last time some of you didn't have it. That's why I had said, let's first leave it at that level. So what I have done, I'm repeating. I said you escape from wherever you are until when you go back to gateway of tally, go under inventory info, enter, go under stock items, because what we want to edit is on stock. Go under stock items, enter, then go to alter, enter. So you're going to alter those items, the 3 of them. You're going to alter the 3 of them. And so the first one is black ink, enter. Where there is tax information, go up to where there is tax information and put 18. Enter, enter, and accept. Then go to Fanta. Again, enter and edit Fanta. Still, where there is tax information, put 18. Enter and accept. And then finally, go to pens. Enter. Where there is tax information, put 18. Why are we doing that? Because VAT it has to be completed on sales and purchases. And what we are selling and purchasing is our inventory. So it is always important to put the duty rate here. Last time we didn't have it, those of you who were having a different version. So after doing that, accept, then escape to leave this window. Escape, escape, and go back to gateway of tally. Have you finished editing our stock items just to put the VAT rate? And always remember to open up the VAT account. We opened it up already. Okay, we opened up the VAT account. Okay, so we have our VAT account. I was just confirming that we have it. Now, have you all finished editing that so that we continue to what we were doing, purchases? Can we continue? Can we continue? Have you finished editing stock items? Shadia, yes? Have you finished editing stock items, members? You should learn this of how to edit and go back, because even in the exam, you may forget something small. You just have to go edit and continue. So let's go back to accounting vouchers so that we transact. Let's go back to accounting vouchers under transactions. So we are starting afresh. It was a purchase and we were purchasing from Center, the bottling company. And like I said, if you don't have a purchases ledger, you cannot exceed this level. So select purchases. And what are we purchasing? Fanta. Simply type F and Fanta will come. And we are purchasing Fanta of 250 crates. And Tally will automatically give you the cost. So I said enter. When you want to go to this next one, just press enter. It will be moving. Enter, it will show amount. Enter, enter again. So you enter twice, then you type V, then VAT will come. Enter twice and type V, then VAT will come. So you can see that now VAT has been computed simply because we went and put it under stock items. Are we together? So whenever you put it here and it doesn't bring any figure here, it means you did not put it under your stock items. And we have seen that we can always edit and go back. So this now explains it well that the Fanta costed us 4.5. If we include our VAT of 810, the figure then becomes 5 million. Are we together? So now enter until when you reach narration, enter, 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 and then narrate, and then you say being you can now say being purchase of Fanta. Maybe you can even specify the quantity Fanta from Century bottling company. Enter and accept. That is done. So the second purchase, they are telling us, now I'm on Roman number 2 members. From Mook Painters, we are purchasing 300 liters of black ink. Only 150 liters have been delivered. Now members, listen and listen carefully. In tally, we only captured what was delivered. We only capture what was delivered. So we ordered for 350 liters, but they only delivered 150. So the cost that we incurred is we capture the cost of 150. Have you understood that? This is what I mean. So let's first capture that. It is still under purchase. So we are now seeing it is purchase number 2. We enter. Where are we buying it from? From Mook Painters. So you select Mook Painters. Then continue. And it is still under purchases ledger. So what are we buying? We are buying black ink. Simply type B and black ink will come. Now, this is what I was explaining under quantity. We don't capture 300. We capture what was what? Delivered. So they only delivered 150 liters of black ink, and the cost will automatically come because you had put it. So enter, then enter first, enter the second time and type V to bring VAT. So VAT will automatically compute simply because we edited the other side. So the same thing, enter until up to reach narration. And then you say being purchase of black what? Black ink. Being purchase of black what? Ink. Enter and accept. Those are the 2 purchases we've made. Are we all there? Or you need some minutes still to catch up? I want to do part C now. Have you finished capturing purchases? 2 things to note. Read the question. Whenever they say that VAT is on both sales and purchases, you always have to capture VAT when you're capturing your inventory. And that means also you should have created the VAT account already. And also you have a purchases what? Account. So are we all here? Have we finished purchasing inventory? Have you finished purchasing inventory? This time around on purchases and sales, we don't look at double entry. It's just purchasing and selling.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Excuse me, madam.
Yes.
How have you gone to the next purchase? How have you proceeded to?
Yes, John. Whenever you finish something, it takes you back to the same whatever window of purchase. For you, when you
press
first
enter
and accept, then it will bring a new screen of purchase and you just continue. First do it and you let me know.
But when I press enter, accept, it is telling me error.
How? Which error? Have you managed to?
It is saying that.
Read for me the error. Which error?
Yes, it is saying. It is saying voucher totals do not match.
Voucher what?
And that is voucher totals do not match.
Did you edit the item that we edited?
Yes, I did.
Is there anyone with the same problem like John, where your voucher totals do not match? Is there anyone with the same problem where your totals do not match? John, can you escape and try to redo it? Maybe you made a problem in entering the figures.
Okay, madam.
Escape and you try redoing it. The rest, are we okay? Have we finished purchasing? If you don't communicate, I will not know what is happening.
No, madam. Yeah.
You're still purchasing? Some people are saying yes,
Yes, madam.
yes. Yes, yes, you're still purchasing, or yes, you've finished.
Yes, we finished.
Good. Members, don't worry. You're going to have this. I'm going to ensure that I send the recording immediately, such that those who have not followed, you have the whole of tomorrow to practice. So we have finished purchase. Now, part B. Part B, part C, they're telling us that process the payment for central laboratory company using the current account. So members, what are they telling us to do here? We have purchased, but we've not made a what? A payment. You didn't see VAT, you're lying, I did it. Caroline, you will just have to follow the recording. Process the payment for central laboratory company using the current account. So here they are telling us to go and pay central laboratory company. In other words, which double entry are you going to pass? You're going to pay this supplier, but using your current account, which is Barclays Bank, meaning that your liability has reduced. So if you pay suppliers, you debit their account, isn't it? And since you're paying them using your current account, for it will do what? Reduce. So part C, the double entry is debit central laboratory company, and then credit what? Barclays Bank. So it is a payment, go under payment. Under payment, what we're paying central laboratory company. So we say debit central laboratory company by how much? The figure, they've not given you the figure, but it will automatically come here. It shows that you bought from central laboratory company and you were buying Fanta to the tune of 5,310,000. So the figure will automatically come here. So you type this very figure you're seeing here. Unless if they have specified that maybe out of this, you will pay him only 4 million. But they said process his payment, meaning that we are paying him fully. So we are paying him 5,310,000. And we are paying using the Barclays Bank account. So whenever I enter, it takes me up to credit. Then I select Barclays Bank account. So you can now see that central laboratory company has a zero balance, whereas our money in the bank has reduced. This is now the beauty of Tally. It will do it for you. So you enter until when you reach narrations, and then you make a narration. Payment made in settlement of century. Payment made in settlement of century bottling company. Payment made in settlement of century bottling company. Someone has a hand up, yes? Atieno.
Madam.
Yes.
Madam, when I finished entering the amount, the 5.3,
yes,
and I entered, they showed me method of adjustment. What should I consider?
Which methods are they bringing?
They brought advance, then AGST ref, then
it
new
is
ref.
AGST ref.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yes, okay.
Then pending bills.
The pending bill is the figure. Have you put the figure?
Yes.
Yes, continue and enter.
Okay, thank you, madam.
Okay. So have you put the narration? If you finish putting the narration, just enter and do what? And accept. Some of these things don't even have to give them attention. They are automatic. Once I put Central Bottling Company, it will automatically bring a GST ref. Then it will ask me the credit entry. I put Barclays. Then the rest of this detail is just for the accountant to know that this is an account payee. We've made a cross instrument. That one is not important for now. We are just passing the entries. So enter and accept. So we have already processed that payment. Part D, have you all finished processing the payment? Have you paid off Central Bottling Company?
No.
Okay, you pay it off. We paid it by debiting the supplier and crediting. Can we go to part D? Part D. Members, have you finished paying off Central Bottling Company? I want us to finish, so please hurry so that we finish up this number. Have you finished paying off Central Bottling Company? Okay. So let's do part D. Obtained a 12% Barclays bank loan to finance expansion operations worth 56.5. Remember, we said that the two accounts affected here is a 5-year 5% bank loan and then the bank itself. So the question is, what is the nature of this transaction? This is a receipt because you're receiving money. And if it is a receipt, we go and click receipt. So if it is a receipt, which account are we debiting and which account are we crediting? Can someone tell us which account are we debiting and which account are we crediting?
We debit we credit the loan account and debit the Barclays account.
Yes, we shall debit Barclays Bank simply because it will be receiving that money. And then we shall credit the loan account because we are now creating a liability. So begin by crediting the 5-year 12% Barclays Bank loan by how much? By 56,500,000. And then debit Barclays Bank. Debit Barclays Bank. Automatically the figure will go there. Then enter until when you reach narrations. And then you say, being a loan obtained from Barclays Bank. Enter and accept. We've finished that one. So part E is about sales. Sales will look like purchases, same thing. So those of you who didn't understand purchases, can you now be attentive when I'm looking at sales? Part E, they are telling us that these are the sales below. Number one, we have Spy Uganda Limited. we are selling 120 crates of Fanta. Up to today, 101 crates have so far been dispatched. So the same way I explained purchases, that in purchases, we only register what we have delivered. In sales, we only register what we have dispatched or actually sold. So we shall not consider the 120 crates, we shall only consider 101 crates. So go under sales. Once you are under sales, it will ask you which account or maybe which customer are you selling to. Remember, sales relates to the customers. So we are selling to Spa Uganda Limited. Come and select Spa Uganda Limited. So enter, all this just enter until when you go back. So it will now ask you, where are you recording it? Under sales ledger. So if you had not opened up a sales ledger, you would not see anything here and you cannot continue. So once you are in the exam and you don't see anything here, it means you didn't create a sales account. Just escape and go and create it there, and then under accounts, what? Vouchers. So here we have it, just select it, then you will be able to continue. So what are we selling? We are selling Fanta. Again, type F and Fanta will come. Okay. What quantity of Fanta are we selling? You look at what we dispatched, 101. And then it will automatically bring for you the selling price of Fanta, which was 24,500. Are we together? And remember, the same thing, VAT was both on sales and what? And purchases. So you have to enter and also recognize VAT. Enter, then when you reach the amount, enter twice, once, then the second type V, and VAT will come. Enter. So you see, VAT has automatically come and it has automatically been computed. So I hope those who didn't understand purchases, you can now use this information. It is the same. The way we capture sales is the same way we capture what? Purchases. So enter until when you reach narration, and then you say being sales made for Fanta. Like I said, narration doesn't matter. You just narrate what you've understood in the transaction. So enter and accept. Once I say yes, it will clear and bring for me a new version of a sales account where I can capture new sales. Then the Roman number 2, we are selling to Makerere Business School 90 liters of black ink. So this time around, I'll select Makerere Business School. I enter, I just ignore all this, enter. And then sales ledger, you select it. And this time around, we are selling black ink. So just type B and black ink will come. And how much? 90 liters. Capture the 90 what? Liters. Automatically, it will compute for you the sales value. And like I said, you need to capture VAT on sales. So enter once. The second time when you enter, type V, and then VAT will come. Enter, and then put a narration being sales of black ink. Enter and accept. That's where we are. So have you finished capturing sales so that we can go to part F? Can you go capturing sales? Members, I want to finish in the next 30 minutes, so that's I call it a day. Have you finished capturing sales? Continue. Have you finished capturing sales? Okay, so we go to part. It's telling us that receive a check from Makerere Business School for amount and deposit it in the current account. So what they are telling us here is that we are now getting our customer, Makerere Business School, is going to pay us for the black ink that we sold. So since Makerere is the one paying, the nature of the transaction this time around, the receipt. Are you able to hear me? Someone is saying network. Are you able to hear me?
No, madam.
Okay, let me try to first get a good network. Just a minute. As you're getting on board.
Check mic 1.
What about there? Are you able to hear me? Or it is still breaking so that I can change the network? Are you hearing
The
me
network
well?
is still breaking. No, it's breaking.
Is it now okay? Are you able to hear me well now? Is it now okay?
Madam, it's bearable. Let's continue.
Okay, let's continue. Maybe it will improve along the way. So, can we go and receive that check from Makerere Business School?
Madam, it's still breaking.
So let me try to reconnect shortly.
No, madam.
Are you now hearing me?
Yes.
And it is clear, right?
Yes, you're clear now.
And you can see what I'm doing. We can now continue. I hope now I'm okay. All right. So let's continue. We were looking at part what? Part F. Receive a check count. So this is very clear. We are receiving. So go under receipt. And what are we we are receiving a check from Makerere. So we are receiving from Makerere. Now this will reduce their liability by crediting it. So we shall credit Makerere Business School by how much? They told us by the amount. So you just copy it, 1,008,900. So you enter, and then we're debiting it in what? In Barclays. Enter, enter. I said this information, just continue entering. And then the narration is being a check received from Makerere Business School. Enter and do what? And accept. Finished. So it's a loan repayment of 6.5 using a current account. So here we are going to pay a loan, meaning that this is a payment. Now, which account do we debit and which one do we credit? We are repaying it. It means we are reducing it. Whenever you're reducing a liability, you debit it. And at the same time, our current account is going to reduce simply because we are removing money to pay under what? Go under payment. We are debiting our 5-year 12% Barclays Bank loan. Enter. And yes, they're saying that we are only paying 6.5 million. So just pay what they have told us, 6.5 million. Then you will see that now it has reduced, it is now 50 million, and we are removing his bank. Enter. I said this information, you just enter. And then you put a narration. Being a loan partial payment to Barclays Bank. Because it is partial, we didn't pay fully. So you enter and accept, then it saves the list. They're telling us that according to the bank statement, the following did not appear. So if they did not appear, then for us, we have to just go and deposit. So what we are going to do here is to register it because it is not appearing. So if it is interest on bank deposit and we're going to go and receive it, how? We are going to go and debit our bank account with that interest account, and then we go and credit interest to show that it is an receipt because it is an income. Go and select receipt and credit the interest account because it is income. Credit the interest account by 5,000 bank because we are getting it from what? From Barclays Bank. From Barclays what? Bank. So you enter until when you reach narration, and then you say being received, interest received from bank. Maybe you say received on bank deposits. Enter. We are only just going to capture it. So that one was the payment that we made, although it was an indirect. So we are going to debit our bank charges, 100, and then we shall be crediting our bank because our money had to reduce as a result of that expense. So you enter until when you reach, and then you say being payment made for bank charges. Finished. But there is one thing that we have not yet done that is called reconcile the bank current account. So we are going to learn how to reconcile, then later statements look like. But by just doing this, you've already answered the question because that's what they told us to do. So lastly, let us learn notes, reconciliation. I believe when you're doing this, you're writing some small notes, but the beauty is currently we have recordings. Otherwise, if it was a physical class. So we are now going to go and reconcile. Why are we reconciling? We are reconciling simply because our bank statement had some items. And when we are reconciling, we are automatically going to clear whatever is pending in our bank account. So can you move with me? So escape from wherever you are until when you go back to gateway of what? Of tally. Are we there? So I'm going to be mentioning this one step at a time so that you are able to write. Are you all on gateway of tally? We are going to do reconciliation. Are you all on gateway of tally?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you are on gateway, click on display. Under reports, click on display. Here under reports, click on what? Display and enter. So when you click, I want you to select trial balance. Remember, we are doing reconciliation. This one has some stages. We went to display, under display, trial balance. Are you seeing our trial balance, how it looks like? from the information we have captured, it has managed to give us capital of this, because this is what that is still there of 50 million. We also have current liabilities. So it is giving you a summary. But if you want to see whatever is under each, for example, if I want to, it will show me that under current liabilities, we have tax and duties, and then we have sundry what? Creditors. Escape. If I want to know what is under asset we have is a motor van. Now remember, when we are creating ledgers, that is what I was emphasizing. If you miss on knowing the right classification, even like sometimes can even fail to balance if you don't capture the double entry well, but also classification matters. It can put a motor van in. So if you can click on current assets, still you can see under current assets, we have sundry debtors, and we also have bank accounts. Sales account, we have only sales. Under purchases, we have only purchases. Under direct income, we have only interest. Under indirect expenses, we have bank charges. What we did in the beginning, it goes ahead and categorizes it for us. It prepares for year trial balance, which is already balancing, implying that even our balance. Going back to reconciliation, once you are here under the trial balance, I want you to go under current assets. Under current what? Let's go to current assets. Enter. When you enter, under current assets, I want you to select bank accounts, because what we are reconciling, let's go under bank accounts and enter. Now, which account are we reconciling? We are reconciling a current account, and our current account has also. So go and select the Barclays bank account by just entering. So when you select it, because we said that our month will begin in January. So enter the month that we are using, which is January. In other words, we are going to reconcile on the transaction. So you can see that our statement here is not reconciling. If you can see, it shows you debit, it shows you credit, but we don't have to have anything. Okay, so you're going to reconcile this account. Now, once you reach here, you're going to see something reconciled here, F5. Are we all there? You will see how you can make your own notes, but I said display, try balance, current assets, click bank, then Barclays Bank, then enter the date. In other words, it just does itself automatically. So once you're here under the, so when you click reconcile, it will bring for you this information. Now our statement is not reconciled. You can see, so you're going to reconcile it. How reconcile? By activating the dates, by activating the what? The dates. So you see where we have this black thing here under bank date. You're going to go there and we type this date of 1st January. Under bank date, there is a black thing. Go and just type there 1st January 2019. If it was a period of half a year, then it means that you reconcile at the end of, here we have only 1 month. If it was for a year, it means you go and reconcile at the end of the year. So you come and put here bank what? The first one. Go back to the button area here and select set all dates. Select set all dates. So once I say select set all dates, the date I can always change, but that is the date. So I enter and automatically all other dates will do what? Will be updated. And immediately when you do that, the statement reconciles. So reconciliation is all about ensuring that all transactions fall in that particular date. Enter, 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 and accept. We have finished reconciliation. I know some of you are saying, but really, what have you done here? Activating the date for others. After creating the first one, in the button area, there is set all dates. Click on it, then you just enter, enter, and accept. So we have finished. If you want to confirm that you have reconciled, you repeat the same process, you have finished. For instance, can you escape from that window? If you go back here where we have been trying to do the reconciliation, let me repeat the process. I'm going to escape, and then we say display, and then we say try balance. Under try balance, we said we select current assets. Under current assets, we said we select bank, Barclays Bank. And if it comes, we select the period under consideration, which is January, we enter. And I said when we reach reconcile, you see now there is nothing, simply because we've already done what? Reconciled. So the person who was asking when once we were here, this is this. Once you finish reconciling, indeed there will be nothing to reconcile. So me, when I am marking, I will go through your work and I try to reconcile. If I find that there is something, it means you did not. That is the end of the question. Don't worry, when you get the video, you can always play it, pause, go back until you do the whole number. So I want you to escape until when you go back to the statements look like. So under the reports here, there is a balance sheet. You can see it presents it in this format. Total capital is that, total liability. We have a profit of this figure. So the profit and loss account, like I told you, it is there automatically.
Madam,
yes?
now what if I've made a mistake when I'm entering my ledgers, when I'm entering information there? Let's say instead of 75,000, I've put five. Okay, 7. Where do I change that? Where do I go to change that figure, the correct one?
Okay, I'm going to handle that. Just short. Sorry, I was just saying that we were just looking at these statements. So we've seen the balance sheets. The profit. I've said that when I am marking, for example, I can look at purchases and I know the figure you're supposed to have is 5 million. But if I find that you don't have this figure, I can click, maybe you made some entries, okay? Maybe you made the wrong entry to century, but correct one to move. So I'll be able to mark entries. In other words, I don't mark final figures, okay? So that is how a P&L looks like. Please play around with this information. You will learn a lot. And then also we have ratios here. I have a current ratio of 441 to 1. So meaning that we are looking at how our current assets are financed by our current liabilities that you have already covered in your financial management. So away from that, in the question, I cannot ask you to draw a balance sheet or a profit and loss account because, okay. So the person who was asking me, madam, if I had made a mistake, maybe in the ledger. Yes, can someone correct a wrong ledger correct time as the previous person who was asking? So if you have made a mistake, assuming in your ledgers, you always have to go under what? Accounts info, ledgers, and then you say outer. So for example, if I look at bank charges, this is when you made a mistake. But what about if the mistake was in the ledger itself? If you have a lot of interesting questions, where is that applicable in day-to-day life? My friend, you graduate next year, you're going to start looking for jobs. And they will ask you, which software do you know in accounting? And this is the most common software that most you have this basic knowledge. It will help you to start and then, because nothing will change in the field, they'll just give, instead of giving you information like this, they'll give you a receipt and you capture. They'll give you an invoice, you know, in Tally. So it's important to get the information. It will help you. And I know you will thank me later when we made the mistake on creating ledgers. But what about if we had made a mistake in now capturing the information itself? Yeah, that is where I'm. So whenever you have made maybe a mistake in the ledger, it's most of the times we go under the trial balance to make our changes. So go under display, trial balance. And then you should know sales accounts, or the mistake was when what was in the mistake maybe was when I was creating let's begin with a sales account. For example, I enter. Okay, let me enter sales. Just enter until when you reach the sales, the ledgers themselves. So you can see that it has, I enter under SPA and I look at what I did. Okay. So it's like I can make changes. So for members, whenever you have made a mistake, correct it using what? The trial balance. Have you seen what I've done? I'm repeating. First of all, I said when you make a mistake in ledger creation, you collect it under accounts info. You collect it under inventory what? Info. But when you make a mistake in transacting, maybe you were supposed to debit a certain person, but you may be under what? Display. Display. Then you go to trial balance. Okay. Then you look for you have to know where they need to capture maybe something to do with the fixed asset. Was it when you were doing sales? Was it when you were doing purchases? Because you will be able to, for example, if me to the loan, I enter, it takes me to the transaction that relates to that loan. Okay. So then you can be able, the first one was when we got the loan. The second one was when we were paying it back with it and edit it. What about when you made a mistake when putting a unit price? When you made a mistake putting a unit price, that is inventory. Then you go under stock items. Then you alter. Okay. Let me escape from here. If it was to do with inventory, I've said you go under inventory info. Then you look for the item you want to alter and be able to change it. So once I enter, I can change. Because when I come here where there is standard rate, I put a yes to do what? To reverse it. So the questions are many. Some of the questions you will call me when you're trying to go through. So I want to stop here for today.
Excuse me, madam.
Yes.
I want you to help me
Yes.
this part where we obtain a 5-year 12% Barclays bank loan to finance a debit and credit.
Debit Barclays, credit the loan.
Okay.
Which is a receipt. So the first thing is it is a receipt because you received money. But when we received that money, that's why we are debiting Barclays Bank. But at the same time, because it was a loan, we recognize the liability by crediting the loan account. Any other question? So members, it's very, when I was making a mistake, what mistake was it? Was it under ledger creation? Was it under capturing inventory? Is it when I was transacting? And I've told you to do other ways of saving. You really need them? Okay, next time we shall begin with that. I don't want to give you a lot of things. Next time when we are doing a different question, we shall, yes, when you correct the mistake, everything will automatically be updated.
Help us and share us with the thing.
Screen recording.
Yes, I am going to stop it now and I'm going to share it today so that tomorrow you can prepare. Now, when you get through the question, for those of you who are not following, and also you have one assignment to do, you're going to do for me revision question 2. Revision question what? That is one assignment you're going to do for me because it looks exactly like question 1. So that is the only assignment I'm going to give you under Tally. And it is going to revision question 2. Please do it. It is an individual thing. You will do it. And you put it on a flag, on a CD. It's not to be handed in tomorrow. You will hand in when we finish the last section. So this will be your assignment. You can practice. I want you to grasp the concept, okay? So next time when we meet, I'm going to begin with revision question 3, and this is a whole new thing, the last thing to do with Tally, okay? So the next class, come when you are fresh, so that we look at. That is it for now. I said I don't want that assignment tomorrow. I will only need it when we finish question 3. So you can still, yeah, I'm going to send a recording. Okay, have a good night.